Hey guys, welcome to Wednesday in the Word. And the fact that you're watching this means you survived the storm this morning, that you didn't get flooded or blown away. Saw a few leaves and limbs on the road today, but we're all doing good. The sun is shining now, and it's amazing how just a little bit of time changes everything. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about a story this morning, this afternoon. Joshua chapter 9. Joshua and the children of Israel are just beginning to inhabit the promised land. They're coming into the promised land, and God gave them the orders to just wipe out everybody who was living there, to just clear out the land. Everyone was to be wiped out, to be destroyed. Jericho, the walls fell down. They were wiped out. Ai wiped out. So the other kings and the other places begin to say, oh, we might have a problem here. These guys are for real. They're going to come in and they're going to wipe us out, and they're going to take our place, take our land. And so some of them begin to band together to fight them. But it says, but when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and Ai, they worked craftily and went and pretended to be ambassadors. And they took old sacks on their donkeys, old wineskins torn and mended, old and patched sandals on their feet, and old garments on themselves. And all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. So they went to Joshua at Gilgal, and they said, hey, we have come from a far country, and we would like to make a covenant and agreement with you. And Joshua and the leaders listened to what they said. They said, you're not by here. And they said, no, we're from far away. Look at our provisions. These clothes were new. The wineskins were new. The bread was fresh out of the oven when we left our home. And so Joshua and the elders looked at the wineskins, the bread. Sam looked at their provisions and said, oh, okay, so you're from a long ways away, and they signed an agreement with them. 3 days later, they found out they had been lied to. See, in life today, in everything, in all the stuff that you're doing, there seems to be events and things that make sense to you. You look to them, you look at them, you look at the provisions, you look at the stuff, you look at the sandals and their clothes and say, oh, those are old, they're from a long ways away. Not everything is as it should be. And so it says specifically that Joshua and the elders did not inquire of the Lord. So can you trust your eyes and your ears and your taste? Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to say, okay, God, I am not sure what's going on here, but I need to hear from you. I need to hear from you. I need to know what's really happening, because people are going to come along and they're going to pretend to be your friend. A young man shared with me how he battled with addiction to alcohol, and he'd been clean almost a year, 364 days or something like that. And he was at his friend's party, and he was drinking his water, and his friend and his buddies were drinking their alcohol. And his friend said, hey, come drink with us. Come drink with us. And they just kept hounding him till he finally did. And once again, he was back at zero. He was back battling alcohol, battling all that stuff. They pulled him in. Folks, be careful who you hang out with. Be careful who you listen to. Not everyone is going to give you the best advice. And if their advice doesn't line up with the Word of God, go with the Word of God. Trust the Word of God. Because Joshua and the elders, 3 days later, they find out, we've been lied to. And they wanted to destroy these people, but they'd made a deal with them. Sometimes you make deals and you can't go back. And so they said, we can't wipe you out, but now you're going to become woodcutters and slaves and servants and all these things. And the people are like, hey, Gibeonites were like, oh, we're good with that because we're not dead. And they got interconnected with the Israelites and helped lead them down the path to idolatry. So, have you heard from God? You're thinking about getting a new job. You're thinking about buying a new vehicle. You're thinking about buying a house. You're thinking about all these different things. Have you heard from God? So today, I encourage you to be in the Word and to hear from God. Thanks for being a part of Wednesday in the Word.